In this video, we are going to solve a few more extra examples on the week 4 discussion problem, and I hope that this problem will help you for this week discussion as well as the homework assignments or the quizzes. The very first problem, we are asked to use the identities, the trig, to find the exact value of the 4 remaining trig functions of the acute angles theta. So we know that this is a given sine of x equals 3/4 and cosine of theta equals 7, the square root of 7/4. Okay, so we need to find the order 4 remaining trig function. So the first one, I have cosine, I have sine, so I can find cosecant. Cosecant of theta, remember cosecant is 1/sine. And we know that sine is 3/4. So you can flip that back, you will get 4/3. Okay, that's for cosecant. And we know cosine. Then we can also find secant. Why? Because secant is equal to 1/cosine. So we know the value of cosine. So we can divide that by 1. And dividing it is the same thing as the multiplying by the reciprocal of that. So we are flipping that here. Okay. Now, we have sine, cosine, then we can find cosecant. Secant. What about tangent? Tangent is the next one. Well, tangent is easy. Remember, tangent is sine of theta over cosine. That's the rule, the trig identities. Now, sine is 3/4. Cosine is 7, the square root of 7/4. Now we can simplify this. Dividing a fraction means multiply by the reciprocal of the second fraction. And we can see that the 2, 4 cancel. And we get 3 over the square root of 7. That is tangent. Okay, and we know cosecant, secant, tangent. What's the last one? The last one is cotangent. Okay, cotangent of theta. Cotangent is 1/tangent. And we know that tangent is found to be this value. Okay, so 1 divided by that is multiplying the reciprocal of the square root of 7/3, and that is the end of this problem. So we are given 2 values. We are asked to find the remaining 4 trig function. Okay, so that's the first problem. Simple. The second one, okay, they ask you to use the definitions or the identity to find the exact value of the remaining 5 trig functions. Okay, so in this case we are only given cosine to be 1/3. and we are asked to find the other 5. So it's more difficult, right? Because in this case we have two of them, but now we only have one of them. So how do I do that? Well, the first one, cosecant is related to cosine is related to secant, right? Because what? Secant is 1 over cosine. So secant is 1 over cosine. So we can find that 1 over 3. So secant is equal to 3. Okay. Now after we have secant, what else we can do to find the other 4 remaining trig functions? Well, you can use many other formulas, but I have one formula that we may use is this formula, this trig identity. So we can know that 1 plus tangent square, that's equal to secant square. Okay, so in this case we have secant, we have 1, so we can find tangent. So 1 plus tangent square equals secant square. Secant is 3, so 3 square. So 1 plus tangent square equals 9. Therefore, you can subtract 1 on both sides. Tangent square equals 9 subtract 1, that's 8. And you can find tangent, right, by taking the square root on both sides. So the square root of 8. And you can leave your answer like this one, it's fine. Or you can simplify further the radical. So we know that 8 is 4 times 2, right? And then the square root of 4, that becomes 2 outside. So 2 square root of 2. Okay? And that's equal tangent. Tangent of theta. So we know secant, we know tangent. So we have to find the other 3 more remaining trig functions. We know tangent, we know secant, and now the next function is we can find is sine, because tangent is equal to sine over cosine. So tangent equals sine over cosine. And we know that we just found the value to be 2 radical of 2. And in addition to this one, we also know cosine is 1 over 3. Right? Cosine is 1 over 3. So I can rewrite cosine as 1 over 3. That's what's given. And then we still have 2 radical of 2. And we know that dividing by 1 over 3 is by multiplying by 3 over 1. So I have 3 sine equal that. Okay? And then to solve for sine, we divide both sides by 3. So this is the value of sine. So I know sine, I know cosine, I know tangent. Now once I know sine, I can find cosecant. Cosecant is 1 over sine, right? So that means we are flipping the fraction. We are taking the reciprocal of the sine function. So that becomes 3 over 2 radical of 2 for cosecant. Okay, so secant, tangent, sine, cosecant, and then the last one is cotangent. Okay, 5 of them. Cotangent is easy. Cotangent is 1 over tangent. So we are flipping the the value of tangent. So 2 radical of 2. Now we are flipping that. We put 1 over 2 radical of 2. Because tangent was 2 over radical of 2 right here. Excuse me. Okay, so that's all the functions we got from here. Secant, tangent, sine, cosecant, cotangent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the exact value of the 5 remaining trig functions. Okay, next problem. Problem 3. Okay, so given tangent to be phi, now use the trig identity to find the exact value of a psi. Psi. Alright, so we are given tangent. How do I find psi? That's for part A. B is cotangent square, and C secant square. Well, we know that earlier we have a special formula. 1 plus tangent square equal secant square, because we have tangent here, so that means 1 plus tangent is phi, so phi square equal secant square. Phi squared 25 plus 1 26 equals secant square. Now I can find secant by taking the square root on both sides, so that the square root of 26. And once I know secant, I know that cosine is 1 over secant, right? So that I can find cosine. I can find cosine to be 1 over the square root of 26. Now, once I know cosine, once I know tangent, I can find psi. Because why? Tangent is equal to psi over cosine, right? So to find psi, we multiply both sides by secant, cosine. Sorry, yeah. To find psi, I multiply both sides by cosine, and I know tangent. Tangent is phi. Tangent is phi. Cosecant we just found here, 1 over the square root of 26, or psi should be phi over the square root of 26. Okay, so that's how we find psi from part A. Now, to find cotangent is easy. Cotangent square. We know cotangent is 1 over tangent, right? And tangent is given at phi, so 1 over phi. And therefore, you want to find cotangent square, so we take this whole 1/5, we square, so 1 over 25. So it's easy. Secant square, well, we found secant square before. It was this factor, so 26. So on the way that we found psi, we already figured out secant square. Okay, so that's the next problem. And then let's move on to problem 4. So problem 4, we are given C to be 4, B to be 45, and C to be 85. Now we are asked to solve the triangle solve the triangle. The capitalized letter B, this is the angle, and C is the side that is opposite to the angle C. Okay, this is the big C, and the small c without the degree is the angle, the side that is opposite of the side C. Now we know that B is 45, C is 85. Okay, so let's draw. The first thing is better to draw the triangle. Okay, so let me quickly draw triangle here. Okay, hold on. Before drawing the triangle, let's figure out something else. We know that the triangle. Okay, let's just imagine that let's do it here. We have the triangle. The triangle has three angles, A, B, C. Okay, let's just label it as A, B, C. We know A, sorry, we know B, we know C. Then we can find A, because A plus B plus C, all the angles inside the triangle has to be 180 degree, right? But B now is 45 degree, C is 85. So how do I find A? We know that 45 plus 85, that should be 130 degree equal 180, and therefore you can find A subtracting both sides by 130, so that's 50 degree. Okay, so let's draw the triangle like this one. Okay, I can label it now. This is the angle C. Okay, maybe this is angle B, and this is angle A. And then the one that is opposite to C is the length of C to be 4. Okay, we know the angle of C. This is C is 85 degree, A is 50 degree, B is 45 degree. Now the question is, they ask you to solve the triangle. That means we are looking for the remaining two sides, A and B. So we are looking A to be something, and then B, the length of A and B. And how do I do that? Well, I know that for this type problem, we can use something called the law of psi. The law of psi. Okay, that means we have A over psi of the angle A. Okay, we know the angle, we know all the angles, so that's good. So A over psi of A equal to C over psi of C. So the angle and the side that is opposite to the angle. Now it's simple. We set up the proportion, and we see that A is what you are looking for. I don't know that value. I know psi of A, which is psi of 50, equals C. C is 4, and then psi of C, psi of 85. And therefore you can solve for A. This is the cross multiplication. So 4 times psi of 50 divided by psi of 85. So that's the value of A. Okay. And then we can also find that too. So I take psi of 50 multiplied by 4, and then divided by sine of 85, and that should give me around 3.076. Okay, and then again, once you know A, you know C, the last one is B, so we know that we can set up another proportion B over sine of B equal to C over sine of C, and B is what we are looking for, and then sine of B, which is sine of 45 degree, equals C, again 4, and then sine of 85, and then using the cross multiplication I can solve for B, so 4 times sine of 45 divided by sine of 85, and that should give me 4 times sine of 45 divided by sine of 85. That's around 2.839. Okay, so that is how you solve a triangle given some angle. Now, one more example. Similar type of problem. They give you some values of the triangle and they ask you to solve for the triangle. So let's do question 5. Okay, this question we have A equal 10, B equal 19, and C equal 20. So in this case, we are given all the length of the triangle. Now let me just draw the triangle. So this could be A to be 10. Let's call B to be 19. Right? This is not as a good scale, but you can imagine that the triangle should be something like this one. Okay. We are given A, B, C. Now you are asked to find what is C, right? Because we are missing C, angle C. This is angle B and angle A. So what happens if we are just given the 3 sides? How do I find all the angles? Now in this case, you have to use the law of cosine. Okay. So the law of cosine is saying that we can use any of the 3 laws of cosine. But let's do the first one. A squared. So anytime you are given all the sides without the angle, we can use the law of cosine. A squared equal B squared plus C squared minus 2 BC, and then cosine of this angle, which is A. Okay. Now we know that we have A, B, C, then we can figure out what is the angle A. Alright, so A squared, which is 10 squared, B squared, 19 squared, C squared, 20 squared, minus 2 times B, which is 19, C, 20, and then the cosine of A. Okay. Now we can know that this is 100, right? This is 100. 19 squared plus 20 squared, that gives me together 761, and then 2 times 19 times 20, that gives me 760 cosine of A. And then I can go ahead and I subtract 761 on both sides. Okay, so that gives me minus 661 equal to minus 760 cosine of A. And then we can divide both sides by minus 760 minus 760. So that gives me around 0.86 9, right, take 3 decimal places, equal cosine of A. Okay, we have a cosine, we can rewrite this way. Cosine of A equals 0.869. To find the angle of the cosine, we have to take the inverse. So inverse cosine of the value. Okay, so using the calculator, you can find that inverse of cosine. The angle A should be around 29.57 degree. Okay, so if we use the A square formula, then you can solve for the angle A. Now, to find the angle B, we have to use the B square formula. B square again is A square plus C square minus 2AC, and then cosine of this angle B. Okay. I know that B is 19 square. A square is 10 square, and then C square, C20, right? C is 20 square minus 2 times A 10, C 20, and then cosine of B. So 19 square give me 361, and then 10 square 100 plus 20 square, that's give me 500, and then 2 times 10 times 20, that give me 400 cosine of B. Subtracting 500 on both sides give me minus 139 equal minus 400 cosine of B. And then divide both sides by minus 400. That's give me 0.3475 to be cosine of B. So we know that cosine of B equals 0.3475. To find the angle B, we take the inverse of 0.3475. So inverse of cosine of 0.3475, that give me B to be around 69.67 degree. Okay, so we know angle B, we know angle A. Well, the last one is C, right? We know that, how do I find C? We know that all the angle of the triangle add up to be 180, and we know that B is 69.67, C A is 29.57. So to find C, we have to first add these two. 29.57 plus 69.67, that's 99.24 C plus C equal 180. So to find C, we subtract both sides by 99.24, and that's give me 80.76 degree. So just find two angles, and then you can find the rest, the angle C, by subtracting the other two angles from 180, because the sum of all the angles should be 180 for the triangle. Okay, so that's how you apply the law of cosine and the law of sine to solve a triangle given some info for the triangle, depending on what they give you. If they give you the angle with the side of one of the length of the triangle, then you can use the law of sine. But if they just give you all the three sides and without any angles, then you can use the law of cosine. And then make sure to know the trig identities for sine, cosine, cotangent, secant, and so on. Okay, thanks for watching.